Welcome to beautiful Monterey, California, a charming city on the state's rugged central coast. This area is famous for several things, including the amazing aquarium, the exclusive Pebble Beach golf course, and the popular tourist area of Cannery Row. It also sits on the waters of the Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary, an area teeming with aquatic life and biodiversity, and it is in these waters that I set off on what would become a very memorable whale watching tour. We booked an 8-hour killer whale search outing with Monterey Bay Whale Watch, one of the nation's top whale watching companies. Owned and operated by marine biologists, they've offered year-round whale watch tours in Monterey since 1992. And although, spoiler alert, there were no killer whales to be found on this day, it ended up being the best whale watching experience of my life. You can find their link in the video description below. They're a great tour outfitter. So come join me as I head out to search for whales in the magical waters of Monterey Bay. The Whale Watch office and boat dock is located on the right-hand side of Old Fisherman's Wharf. The little red building has information posted about recent wildlife sightings, details on local marine life, and plenty of souvenirs and snacks for sale. Good morning from Monterey. We are about to head out on our 8-hour orca whale watch cruise. So we're going to be looking specifically for orcas, although, we might see other types of whales as well. I've never seen an orca in a wild, so I'm very excited. Hoping for the best. It's very loud here. The birds and the sea lions are awake and ready to start their day. It was a chilly gray morning when we arrived, quiet in terms of human activity, but the local sea lions were awake and ready to rock. The weather was pretty calm, though it was expected to turn later on in the afternoon. As I've gotten older, motion sickness tends to hit me pretty hard, and I did not want this day to be ruined, so I decided to try something new. I've got a scopolamine patch on for the very first time. I get horribly seasick, so hopefully this will do the trick for me. So far so good, no side effects, don't feel anything weird. Had a little bit of time to kill until it was time to start lining up to board. The boat is right next to the shop, so quick and easy access between the two.
This is our vessel for the day. This is the Seawolf 2, and we will be boarding and departing shortly. Hoping for good luck. They haven't seen orcas in about 10 days or so, but maybe we'll get lucky today.
We slowly pulled away from the dock around 8 a.m., leaving the city of Monterey behind and heading out into the deep waters of the bay. Got some nice views of the source of all that racket I heard prior to boarding.
Directly on our right, we got some California sea lions here. Interesting behavior they're doing. This is called jugging, where they hold their flippers out of the water.
There were so many of them all around us, no wonder it was so loud. And despite the noise, most seemed to still be sleeping in, having a lazy morning to fit with the vibes of the cool, overcast weather. Started to pick up speed, and off we went. It got a little rocky out there on the open water, but nothing too bad. My new scopolamine patch friend did its job, and I managed to stay seasick-free the whole day. Now, as I've said, we didn't find killer whales, or orcas as they're often called. That stunk. But honestly, it didn't take me long to nearly forget about them. Because while the orcas remained elusive, this guy, who I eventually nicknamed Big Pete, came to play. Big Pete is a young humpback whale who we found pretty early on into the trip. He was breaching from the moment we arrived and was still breaching when we moved on, about 2 to 2.5 hours later. Yes, we watched Big Pete dive and throw himself out of the water repeatedly for over 2 hours. He never took an extended break, just kept leaping into the air and smashing back down. It wasn't that long ago that I would have been thrilled to see a whale breach in person just once. I lost count of how many times Big Pete launched into the sky. Maybe 30? Honestly, it happened so many times that some of the breaches weren't even that impressive anymore, unless they were super high or super close to the boat. I got so spoiled. These moments were a wildlife photographer's dream, and I deeply regretted not renting a long lens for my camera, but I was certainly not expecting to have this kind of an encounter. And one of the cool things about Big Pete is that according to the marine biologists on board, he was a newly identified individual. Each humpback whale can be identified by the unique black and white pattern on the underside of its flukes, very much like a human fingerprint. Once the biologists got a good photo of his fluke pattern, they were able to compare him to the existing database, and they couldn't find him. So welcome to the Humpback Whale Catalog, Big Pete. Nice to meet you. Humpback whales are pretty common in the Monterey area, particularly from late March through December, where they come to these nutrient-rich waters to feed on anchovies, krill, and sardines. Adults can reach nearly 50 feet long and weigh up to 90,000 pounds. Scientists aren't exactly sure why whales breach. It could be a form of communication, it might be a way to dislodge any uncomfortable parasites, or it might just be for fun. It sure does look like a good time. We really don't have enough knowledge yet to say for sure why they do it. We did continue the search for orcas after saying farewell to Big Pete, but to no avail. During the downtime, I examined the boat charts that detailed all the wildlife in the area. These waters are so full of life, there's so much to be on the lookout for, even when the orcas don't make an appearance. As the day wore on, we spotted quite a few other humpbacks and got to witness some really interesting surface feeding behavior, which I'd also never seen before. Heading back into port, I had another first-time sighting, sea otters in the wild. So cute.
Oh, baby's looking for mom. He's right behind you, dude.
Where's Mommy?
This will be funny to see. There goes mom surfing into the wake.
Mom's behind you, relax.
All right, folks.
So we are back from our excursion. They did have to cut it about an hour and a half short because there's weather coming in tomorrow. We were actually supposed to go out tomorrow and our trip was canceled, so I'm just thankful that we were even able to get out at all. No orcas, which is a bit of a bummer, but it was still an amazing whale watch day. Probably the best one I've ever had. We also got to see a baby and mom sea otter, which was so cute. Yeah, it was a great day. We didn't get to see what, we set out to find, but it was still such an incredible experience. 2 hours straight that whale was breaching. I don't know how he had energy to do all that, but it was incredible. I'm so glad I got to witness that. It's possible I will never see that again in my lifetime. So even though we didn't find the orcas, I'm really happy with the experience, really thankful for what we got to see today. And the quest to see an orca in the wild continues, but I will get them eventually. I will find them. Just not today.
And that was that. An all-day orca search turned into a 2-hour humpback breaching show. An unexpected plot twist, but man, what a gift to have been able to witness that. As I mentioned in the previous clip, we were actually supposed to go out the day after, and we just snuck onto this trip before the weather turned. So grateful that things fell into place the way they did. Thanks for coming along with me today to go whale watching in Monterey, California. I'll be doing a few more videos on the Monterey area, so do subscribe if you don't want to miss those. If you love whales, my very first ever video published on YouTube was a very cool encounter with a baby blue whale. And if you want to see more of my aquatic ventures, you can also check out the playlist above. Appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.